So let's start, considering that we have been almost 32 right now, past 2 minutes from the scheduled time. And I welcome all esteemed peers and then experts across our industry. I would like to elaborate the topic which has been already circulated well in advance. When it was been asked me that what part of a subject you want to present, then I said that let's little bit have insight on the part of biobase, and then what are the next for the circular PU feedstocks also. Purpose of choosing this particular subject, our industry basically been having a vast application across the many field. It's not only in the PU form, but then again it can be a coating and adhesives and sealants and elastomers, even hot melts in terms of PU or hot melts also. So, and then again, if I can consider the market segments, it's um, I felt that been coming from the Henkel, which has been across the globe. We've been across the many segment with the polyurethane. So, and then again, wanted to touch base on the with our industry peers that currently what we are thinking. It's absolutely my overview here, not the Henkel what they thinking, but what I listens and I see in across the globe that what we've been considering when we have a PU technology. Again, this is a kind of exchange here. If you feel that you do not understand what been presented to you, please you can jump in and then we can have a discussion also there. So so let me start with that point that if I give you this picture, it says something the era what we been, at least I been, because I'm been coming from the time that when the mobile phone was been not there, and then the person who been want to navigate, then they navigate through the map, and then they do have a handy map. Not particularly in India. In India is something where you just scroll down your windows and then ask a question to the person who been standing on the road that where been this place. So we get this kind of the directions when we communicate with the people. But from that point onwards, when we have Google Maps, we stop communicating. We never ask now. We suddenly not having that tendency to scroll down our windows and then we will ask somebody in the locality where we've never been there. So this communication was been stopped. Those times where the communications are been there and then that skill set was been there that you ask right question to the person who been unfamiliar to your intent also. So that communication was been done. Now that uh, the era is already been there, we've been in the chat GPT AI driven world, and I feel that in the coming days or coming months you will see that the tendency of listening somebody is going to be very limited, because everyone wants to be a subject expert, and then this AI will give you across the everything what you want. So this kind of the exchange is most vital when we work with across the industries, and I really thankful to association that they are coming with this kind of the webinar, so that a little bit exchange is still ongoing across the industries also. So uh, the lighter side that when we been and I've been across the roaming of many part of the India and another part of the world, we used to have maps, but now it's gone, and our communication skills also been very limited now to ask somebody for the directions also. So that's the note here. The picture has been there. Let me introduce myself. Krunal Trivedi. I been in the industry for almost 20 years now. By educations, my bachelor's, master's, and PhD in the polymer. And for many years, I've been working with the PU, epoxy, acrylates, and then again thermal materials also. And then uh, and then again I've been associated with Henkel for past 11 years. Currently, I've been leading the product development team in IMEA region, and we've been having a roller coaster time, considering that India has been booming in the electronics market, and then again different geographical segments also. So new technologies, and then again new area where we've been exploring ourselves also, and then on those everything the PU also front runner. So I think it's also kind of a time where we also wanted to showcase to our customer that whatever we are doing in terms of life cycle assessment, not full life cycle assessment, but at least from the point they get the our product on their shop floor, we gave them this life cycle assessment with the what kind of carbon footprint we carry with our product itself. So this is a time where we've been cautious, and this is something what I will share with you. So today's agenda, again, very briefly, I will let you know that what I wanted to cover and why this agenda in particular manners also. So we knew that we heard a lot about the bio base, and then again circular economy also. So this is the increase very much I can give you the insight that BIS is coming with the this kind of the standards where you've been might be not forced, but you've been encouraged to have this bio content in your formulation. So this is appearing to the discuss across the industry, and then majority, if you see that automotives are always front runner if they wants to adopt something. So even from the technology point of view, automotives are always welcome when it's going to benefit not only to them but an entire ecosystems also. Uh, this is mostly discussed based on that what we see as the sustainability targets, and then again, our OEMs, where we are working across the many industry, not only automotive OEMs, but others also in electronics, and then again in the wind or in the solars also. So their expectations, and then again the regulatory directions, what global, and then as again the India we are moving ahead. Again, second part, I will just briefly give you the point where the we will discuss the bio-based feedstock, and the majority of us are knowing that we've been using the bio feedstock, but we never market it. And this is a time when you use the castor oil, please market it to your end user that it's coming from the bio feedstock. So this is kind of conversations are need to be done to your customers also, and then again we need to see that how much we are ready to have the readiness to accept commercially also this kind of the opportunity also. Uh, and the last thing I just want to mention that the purpose of this session is not promote a specific solution, but to provide a structured overview here. So, and that is why I will not mention any of the industry or any of the manufacturer, but one can open to ask me that what are the viable solution if you feel that. Okay. Coming to the first part, that why we are discussing today and why not yesterday and why not in 2024. Uh, on my personal view that we've been very much aware of the regulatory pressure, because consider that we've been having 60 countries and more than 80 plants. We always knew that what are being coming in the Europe and then again North America and then again APEC also. I will scale down the pressure what we are feeling from the other geography. The Europe is forefront in terms of that what they are been having in their mind. They want to limit the everything what been fossil based. Okay, and then they wanted to sustain this entire ecosystem, and they already given their CO2 targets to all the OEMs also. But again, in terms of India, we've been coming up very quickly. We've been coming up with the standardization of MSDS. Some of the MSDS been not standard. If you come across the many MSDS in India, you feel that it's a one-page MSDS, okay, and that the informations are being not circulated. Now it's also coming in the part of the statutory requirements and then again BIS standards also. So these are the pressure you will feel in coming days that you might have coming from the if you've been certified from the BIS, then they will come and then ask you that please include this kind of the practice also. On the OEM, whoever works with the OEM, and many of us are been working with the OEM, they've been very much on the scope 3 emission reduction. So in terms of this, when we discuss with the OEM, they come up with the very stringent timeline that they want everything in the short span, that if you are selling something, then they will ask you the data which you've been never been prepared to have it, and then you might asking your raw material manufacturer. If you are the raw material manufacturer, then you will ask some of the raw material you are buying from somewhere. So the entire industry has not been ready for those kind of the data. And then now we are seeing the last 1 year, everyone has been onboarded that what is the scope 3 emission and why we required those. So already that is why we have been discussing today that what is in terms of the OEM engagement. And then the again, we definitely have the one the mandate is a circularity, and this is the kind of thing where we ourselves wanted to engage for as an industry peer, that whatever we've been now design, it has some circularity, okay, and we do not want to blankly design something a new product which won't be having any circularity in terms of the raw material, in terms of the product, and in terms of the entire ecosystem. So this is something what we have in our mandate also. And then the third, where I've been coming from, it's a really relevant where we've been discussing with our customers, whether it is the battery application, whether it's the interior applications where our material goes in the automotives, our material goes in the industrial applications, and then again wherever we have electronics market also. So overall, we do see the regulatory, they come up and they will ask, then OEM sustainability targets, this is something what we always knew that OEM going to have this, because they've been part of the massive chain carbon footprint, so they want to reduce their own carbon footprint while engaging. And then again what we've been discussing, that the relevance with our industries also. Bottom line, what I just wanted to give you, that it's not nice to have, but it's supposed to become a qualification criteria. So when you
सोरा सोरा माझी 15 मिनिटांनी मीटिंग, मला काहीच आवाज नकोय, नाही तर खाली जा सगळे.
so when we want to qualify something in our product, and if I want to pitch to my customer, we always pitch with the cost. We always pitch with the our properties, betterment of the our strength, betterment of our sustainable, having a good aging data, and then again we will pitch on the part of that how robust our product is. I would ask you to add this also, one of the part that you been having a circularity in your product, and that would be a, one of the criteria When you see some of the packaging, some design with the plant or green, you definitely, your user going to definitely will ask, or maybe read through it. And this is the power of the this part, that everyone is conscious. At least India has been conscious. We've been coming from the part of the world where we been sustainable, but somehow in the past 40, 60 years, we've been having an unsustainable the way we work around the, in our house or even in the industry. So again, going back to the drawing, and then again we become a sustainable. Coming to the next now, on the part of, just I will go through the one of the options what we have for the bio-based PU feedstock. Before I will jump in to the technical discussions, first I want to mention here that when we say bio-based, it will be not a biodegradable. It will be definitely not for the thermoset where we've been put ourselves in as a PU. So when we say it to our customer, we say it to how much bio content we do have. Okay, and when we say it, when we define it, we say it that how much renewable biomass we have it. Okay, when we say circular, when it means that how much recycled content or closed loop raw material we do have. And then again, when we mention it to mass balance, or might be we certified our product for mass balance, then we would say that bio and recycled feedstock, which has been coming from upstream and allocated to downstream. So this is something just wanted to clarify, that never mention to your customer that my product is biodegradable. It never happen going to be, at least not in the near future. Okay, so this is what just the base I wanted to put here. And then again, polyol, we do have fantastic options, and we knew that many of our polyol starts as a precursor itself, having a start from the biomass, but we never put ourselves there or market it ourselves, but please do so. Coming to the isocyanate, majority of isocyanate, the commercial grades, and I knew that some of many of our manufacturers are here from Dow, BSF, and then again Covestros also. But still, I feel that in the what we've been working and what we've been asking, that largely they've been fossil based. They are coming, all of major MNCs are coming with the options, but still they are largely going to be fossil based in the at least of a near future. Okay, so this is a base I wanted to put here, and then let's start with the biopolyol technology. What we already knew, I put it this across the many information. This is for you to after read. Because I cannot have a different representation for after read. So I put across this in terms of that how I wanted to put you a message here. So first and foremost, if I say the biopolyol, I will come with the natural oil. And industry knows this. Industry know how to prepare this, and we've been preparing in India for many many years, and it's commercially available. It's having a fantastic properties, and it would be going to be one of the strongest case when we certified and when we ask for the certification for circularity also. Chemistry roots is already been known for us. Just on the part of industry, how it able to do that, what we foresee, and European market, what they already knew that when we come with the natural oil, maybe it's a castor oil, maybe palm, or maybe soybean, majority we can conclude that biocarbon content for this kind of the polyol would be differ from 20 to 70% of it, and it's a very good number. Consider when you go for mass balance, it's a very good number, and this is something what industry is looking for, because this is a step one. It's not step four or not step 10. It's a step one for us to start from here, because if we adopt this kind of the natural oil or this kind of the polyol, then the entire industry would be going to follow. and then again they will follow that what bio content we are using and what kind of data we do generate from the customers also. Major applications everybody knows about it, that it's a molded forms and then again rigid forms, and then again we use it for many selective elastomers, and then again coatings, and then again we do have potting applications. It's been already commercially available. Last 15 years, we've been using this. But on the market side, I will just, again, when I say penetration is limited, because we do not have that much penetration in terms of the fossil base and then again this bio base. We do have max 8% of global polyol market coming from the natural oil. And some of the part, it not everything is positive. There might be some limitation. I will cover one of the limitations in one of the slides, but the current limitations we can see that mechanical and hydrolysis has stability when we put ourselves entire formulation on those castor oil base. Even though today if I use the castor oil, I try to put again one of the polyol which will give me at least hydrolysis stability and might be the mechanical stabilities also. So there are the some work still need to be done, but the technology is available and then we can adopt those also. The second part, it's sugar and carbohydrate polyols. Our precursors are being sucrose, sorbitol, starch, and glucose also. This has been across the rigid industries and for the uh, majority of our insulations applications also goes for that matter. But I never see that in coming years or might be in the previous years, we say that it's sorbitol based, it's sucrose based, but we never put across our TDL that it's really have a bio content. So this is something what we need to do here also. So it's already commercially available and been many years been in the industry. Some consideration it's required that it's little bit of brittleness where we can work here, that when we being a polyol manufacturer, we need to identify to how to control the chain, molecular chain, and then again how to control the cross-linking part also. Then again, it's moisture sensitive. When we do the processing, it would require a little bit stringent part of polyol manufacturing, and in part of us when we are being end user, I think it's having no challenges in terms of the handling of this kind of the polyols. Lignin base, it's a coming market, still establishing ourselves. Many polyol manufacturers, small scale industries who have been pioneering with the startups, in many in the Europe, many in the part of the Scandinavia. They've been using this to start with the pulp and paper industry. They do have a byproduct, lots of byproduct. Uh, Raw materials are available to have a feedstock, and then it can become a substitute for your existing fossil base also. Current recommendation start off it starts with the 10 to 13% if you want to blend with the traditional fossil base. Uh, it will help you for the stiffness in your formulations, but there is also one part that comes with the little bit color, and this is something been challenged for the coating industry. But apart from that, if you've been having a field system and if it has been black in the color, then it's a go-to solution if you want to be have a sustainable solution for that matter. Uh, Currently, the market has been for the Europe majority. Even North America is pursuing the while back, but I think North America has their own problem. Entire renewable in energy and then the scope what been carrying by the North America, particularly US, it's not right now that much in the focus. So Europe is driving this, and then I think this is also one of the potential replacement what we see as the aromatic petropolyols in the rigid systems also. So coming on the part of these three segments where you've been incorporate in your formulation, or you might be a producer of it, and then again you want to position yourself. But there are the limitations when we come up across the bio-based polyol, and this is some limitations we need to work upon that. This is not a end for the end users that they would not going to use, but when they use it, there are the some part of it they need to be very cautious. And if their applications required some type of the stability, some type of the strength, they need to manage it. And this is what I just wanted to give you the hindsight that when we do bio-based polyol, then we do very much cautious about the hydrolytic stability. That they might be give you the little bit water absorption when you put across the some of the taste. Uh, the issue with the castor oil or issue with the sorbitol, sucrose, that the batch to batch it vary at the level of nobody can immediately judge because we do have a stable polyols from those, but many of the application in the particular case, in particular adhesive, in sealants, it may create issues. Give you the examples. We have been in the medical industry. Medical industry required certifications. If any kind of the toxicity or if any kind of the traces comes across the this systems, then we would not be certified ourselves. So this is why the variability in the batch to batch, it's some of the thing we need to understand. And if we are already maintaining those that the variability consideration, then we need to manage it in our formulations. Third and most part, I think the color. I think the color is something what we can manage in the foam industry very well. But in the terms of coatings and in terms of the sealants and some of the part it's elastomers also. The color is something what little bit tricky here. We can hide the color because if it has been filled system, but if I'm going to have a clear PU system or clear PU potting, I will not able to put across the castor oil there because the yellowness what it bring, it will not suffice my customer requirement. It need to be a thoroughly transparent without any tinting there. So color is there, but it will not limit the use. I will exclude because there is a many other segment where I can put across those biopolyols also. And then again, there is a blending requirement. We used to have a polyols, but as I mentioned it in the earlier slides, we typically require mechanical strength, and it's whether it's a foam, whether it's a case industry, both require stability. And some of the application carries the 10 15 years of stability, and when we put across this long term aging and then again any part of it create the cracks or even disturbance in terms of a long term testing, then it cause the issues to the end users also. So typically we blend it sometimes, and if I would blend it, I would blend it in terms of 40 to 30 ratio. So 40% of biomass, 30% of my fossil base also. So to navigate across those, both will have at least some circularity there also. Okay. Uh, Coming on the next part, and this is the where I think PU industry has been having a lots of struggle. Not in India, but at least I can pitch in for the Europe, where the market demands the certification of the person who use PU itself. And this is something they've been considering that they want to limit the PU itself on the many user case. So now industry already knowing this, this might become in the future that Europe one day says that please limit your PU usage, then you do require alternative. And because of those alternative, I think we do see not MDI, not TDI, but at least some of the isocyanate, which are been very specialized isocyanate. First example I can give you the lysine ethyl ester diisocyanate. They are been coming from the amino acid. This amino acid comes from the biomass. So these are the required in the biomedical applications. They've been coming in the near commercial availability. Again, if I give you the one of the example with which has been partially bio-based, it's aliphatic polyisocyanide, again derived from the palm-based intermediates. Okay, so they've been coming with the, not only for the polyol side, but they also wants to the isocyanide to be bio, having a biomass. Okay, aliphatic would be a much easier to consider when you have aliphatic from the fossil, aliphatic from the bio. Aromatic having some struggle where you cannot have that kind of the property coming from the entirely what we see as a MDI and different grades of MDI. Okay. Uh, Still the research is very much limited in terms of bioisocyanate. Current cost is pretty high. We already have established plant across the globe. Industry is not ready to leverage this new isocyanate in terms of they need to have ROI from coming from those plants which has been established and cater the market. But because of the regulation, we foresee that all the major industries, just I have given one of the example from Covestro, that they've been claiming that 70% renewable bio contain in the carbon content for their one of the PDI isocyanide. So this is something what industry is already carefully thinking about it. We saw lots of threats for the PU. I personally thought that it never you have replacement. Uh, when we pitch in PU, it's a PU. You cannot replace the PU with the silicone PU with the epoxy PU with the even for the different chemistries. It's always PU to PU. So this is the beauty of chemistry. But then again, we have chance and we have a brain and thoughts in the right direction. So that is why you see that even we are today discussing bio-based isocyanate. Okay. Bio-based isocyanate, it would have contained around initially I would say 20%, 20 to 30%, but it depends on the based on the what kind of isocyanate you are been using for your applications. It's maybe touch upon the 70%. It's a tremendous. If you have a bio-based isocyanate carrying the bio content of 70%, it's a huge leap for us. Currently, the total market it's a very limited, less than 5%, very premium. Many of time it's a 50 to 100% premium. That is why the adoptions are pretty low in terms of the foam. Foam markets are not going to adopt till the point you have something eureka coming from the what we are using in the foam market. But at least for the coating and specialty market, there are the strong adoptions are there, and this is basically bringing up a little bit ecosystem because when you have adoption it will going to generate the market interest and those market interests will further give the opportunity to put across the plant and the money back to where we can do the research and then it can be commercially available also. So again, some of the emerging platform I just mentioned here, it's a lignin-based isocyanate and then fatty acid-based diisocyanate and the furan-based also. So this is something afterthoughts you can search across the many AI tools been you everybody is using. If you've been interested and then if you find that it's something what you can correlate with your existing requirement, you might be exporting something not only in India market but somewhere, then you can pitch this kind of the say that look, I have some thoughts in my mind and we can pitch you the product where we can have this kind of biocircularity also. So this is something food for thoughts also here. uh, just moving from the bio feedstock, everything related to bio content, and then again coming from the not from the fossil, but everything comes from the nature. Let's s- go back to what we've been using, and then hopefully we can have a circularity also. This circularity is widely been there in the thermoplastic industries, and because it has this kind of tendency in the chemistry that it can again and again use oneself. But we do have opportunity here, and the opportunities are in the three pillar what I just mentioned here. One of the pillar we always have, it's a mechanical recycling, and where the industry in India, you see that many of the forms, and these forms, when it goes back from your house to the uh, uh, one of the shops where you just dump it, they use it, they grind it, they rebonding it, and they use it into the market also. We don't do it because this is not something our energy where we put one of the segment in our entire company, that one person will try to put across again, having a mechanism from customer to back to the industry. But at least we can mention it to our product that it can be a mechanical recycle, and many of us are doing. But this is something what it's a welcome that it's having a huge potential when you put this across this kind of the claim, and when you do the export, even not export for India market, consumers are very much cautious, and this is something what it will also help you out when you have a circularity in your product also. Chemical recycling, it's coming up. It's required some of the plant modifications. Typical technologies, everybody, majority of us are knowing the glycolysis and hydrolysis and aminolysis. Um, what recovery, what we force, it's around 60%. What we can use from the recovered polyol, we can reuse it in our new formulation. How much it will help you in terms of your final product? It will help you in terms of at least you been putting your feedstock in the circularity. If you have been challenged in terms of when you reuse this kind of the substitutes, then there is a I think the road we need to think that it won't be going to work, and it won't be able to we invest into the chemical recycling and then not getting the right kind of polyols which can substitute. But it's a open area. There are the industry, particularly I give you the example of PET. They do it. PU, it's just few small scales are doing so. Larger part of it, the major MNCs are having that kind of ability, but mostly we are not knowing yet that, and majority of our still wanted to have a fresh polyol for our products. So, but there is options of chemical research, chemical recycling also. Uh, balance approach, majority our peers knows, our expert knows that it across the globe. If you want to certify your entire product systems, and it required ISCC plus certification, uh, it carry a lots of weightage. It's a kind of a green certificate. It always who understand this mass balance, they understand that we are not getting a newer thing from the fossil base. It's we are not consuming the earth actually in the hindsight. So this is the kind of approach we took very long back. We limit ourselves not to use the earth resources, but again use this kind of the ecosystem where we've been having a mass balance. And I think one of the adoption in the mass balance is the OEM. OEM been keep asking this kind of the certification is nowadays, and there is a huge potential where we can reduce the carbon footprint also. So this is something what definitely industry is moving, and everybody is, I think, interested to get the mass balance approach here also. Just I have a deep dive here again in terms of what I have not considered in the previous slide. I just mentioned it that commonly where it used, what is the major use in the mechanical recycling, and Chemical recycling, glycolysis is one of the example I just mentioned here. It's again some of the challenges industry has its order and then quality consistency, and then again it has a property drift in terms of it would require putting a right amount of fossil waste, so it will not going to help you much. So, but again, coming the last one is mass balance, and something the major advantage what OEM is considered. It's because there is no formulation change. You are not claiming that bio-based, and then again, you are not claiming that you have any part of color or order issues here. So it's a very much compatible, OEM friendly. Documentations are already been there when you do the certifications, and it's a relevant right now for the major OEMs also. Again, I wanted to just put my thoughts here for the mass balance, and industry knows very well that how it works. Like a bio and recycled feedstock enter in upstream chemical productions, and then you will certify yourself for the downstreams again, and mentioning, reiterating that adoptions coming from the OEM would be a massive way. I think we've been working with all the major OEM across the many segments. They are happy to listen that we have this mass balance approach for what we are been offering also. In India, apart from the global MNC, our local players knows that whoever their customers which may represent the major OEM, they've been going to hear you for the new products whenever you comes with that. They would like to see that whether you want to have this approach in your industry. Okay, and traceability is there. There is a kind of standard you carry with you. The standard is also give you a little bit consciousness when you formulate yourself. Okay, and this consciousness will comes up with your R&D motto, that how you carry yourself and not blindly pick up any raw material from the your self, and then you will have this thought process that let's figure out that whether this renewability is there in whatever I create in my labs. And when I go beyond the circular PU, the one of the, I think the pioneer technology been coming from the BSF. I just name it here, BSF, and then again many other MNCs are being involved themselves beyond bio, beyond mass balance. They've been using carbon dioxide as a backbone, and this has been kind of a shift they see to use or limit themselves with the PO consumption when they start with the polyol. That mass balance will help you if you are the buyers of those polyols, if you are the buyer of those kind of the technology, it will going to help you, and then you can just check whether it's how much going to compatible with your specifications. These specifications might require stringent part of it, aging, or and then again long-term testing, but at least try to figure it out whether you can incorporate this kind of the polyol systems where you are getting the polyol with the having a carbon dioxide as a precursors also. So this is one of the idea where one can also inquire into the market that whether they do have this kind of the systems available with them in India also. Uh, just again deep diving on the part of beyond bio part where the CO2 been used in the production of it, cradle to gate, where we can able to see that 5 to 15% reduction in the fossil waste, and then again we do have come through the scope 3 reductions also. So There are the ISCC plus certificate available for some of the grades, which has been commercially now rolled in the European market. But you can inquire with the some of our, I think our peers are there who've been producing this kind of the systems also. Application is for the molded forms. Apart from case, I can just mention it here, and then again, it has a good user case for the many elastomers also applications also. Uh, Availability, it's commercially available. You may see through that many of the companies are been putting across this carbon dioxide being used as a one of the feedstock. And then again, some of the premium would be carry because they need to modify the plant and then they need to modify the entire production. So that is why this premium coming from those part of it. It's a I just standardize it's a 5 to 15% probably premium here, but it depends on how you negotiate with them. So this is one of the also options we carry here. And last and least, if we try to adopt here bio-based, CO2-based, then again mass balance systems, then how we see that performance and how we carry ourselves with the sustainability also. So uh, I just mentioned in the right top that nowadays, if major industries or major MNCs are putting their thoughts, they are always forefront with the people. You hear that we, at least MNCs, and then again our Indian companies are been putting across the people first nowadays, and then again planet, which has been come part of the sustainability what we wanted to carry forward, and then the profit in the part of it. Because if I am been not profitable, I would not go beyond the part of the just listen the sustainability. Okay, so this is also a triangle I see. If you feel that if it has been profitable for me to incorporate, if it has been going to help me out, everybody will follow that path. So this is also one of the area that I wanted to put transparently that you may find that when you start with the bio polyols or might be start with the bio isocyanate for some of the relevant applications, you need to put your thoughts in the lab also. Your chemist, your R&D need to really balance some of the properties. It can be first mechanical, hydrolysis, thermal. If you have electronic application, then it need to see the insulation property, whether insulation property in terms of dielectric, and then again how it at the micro level it's having any changes after aging also in the insulation properties. And then finally, the least one is the processability. Majority will not face this kind of the issues, but if at all they feel that the processability also impacted because of those changes in the formulation. Currently, what industry has been doing, we have across the our all the industry players are been having a blend strategy. They do the bio plus fossil for all the technologies, not only the PU. I can vouch for the epoxies, and again, I can vouch for the acrylates also. So it's a safe strategy that we starts with the not entirely go from the bio, but it's a bio plus fossil. That way, it's a step one for us. Uh, I said already that foam, it's a flexible, semi-rigid and rigid. It required a little bit back to R&D, but at least for the case, for coating, adhesive, sealants and elastomer, there are the welcome applications and then adoptions in terms of that what we use as a, at least on the part A of resin. So where we adopted many bio-based polyols. And the I think the practical and the last part is that we gradually ramp up because we wanted to see today if I roll out the product into the market and my user has a life cycle of 5 years, 10 years, I won't have a data today. So I will start with the gradual biocontain in my systems, and then I will have a after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, I might be have a failure cases in coming from my customer. So this is something what we wanted to push here, that let's have a gradual ramp up here. At least we will understand from the market that what's happening, what might be not been coming as a lab data, where we might not see the failure, but at least in the real scenario, we might see the challenges when we adopted bio content based our systems here. For India, I think the when I discussed with associations, they always says me that please focus on India, because this is for India market, and this is something the part of the webinar also. India is a forefront here when I prepared this. My slides, because everything is relevant to India. But again, I just wanted to mention for India that first and foremost reality I just put across last year in Chennai when I was being called for the one of the uh, session. Uh, I see in last 20 years industry, when I go to the Indian customer, it's always cost. We put cost, but then again we say that I will not going to have a performance which going to be lower than my other users. So we carry the cost. We've been very sensitive to the cost, but then again we have performance first mindset also. This is the balance. It's a difficult balance. I would definitely go to the one of the best AI model, and I will ask please explain this model, because sometimes it's very difficult to balance here. You need a performance, and then you need to be have absolutely cost competitive also. So this is something we need to see, and then how we are driving ourselves currently in industries. Majority export platform are adopting sustainability, at least on the mass balance. They have a mandate there that they need to adopt here. So been here, manufacturer of here, but they have been exporting. And then again, who've been supplying to OEM, they've been asking. Not only OEM, I will give you the example without naming my customers. My customer is the largest uh, industry in the India, one of the top three, and they keep asking me two questions: whether how much you have local raw material, and how much you have biocontain in your systems. So the adoptions are pretty huge way. In last 12 months, we've been seeing that our local customers have been very much asking that whether you have at least a local raw material ecosystem, because they wanted to see that if you are been importing your raw material for your product, it mean you are been adding the carbon footprint for that raw material also. So this is the consideration has already been there. The adoption part, I just mentioned it that the first thing is the BIS is working on that one of the standards. You may see in coming months or a year, BIS comes with the not only for PO but across the industry that please adopt the mass circularity model here for whatever you do here. Uh, Majority, I would encourage that we do have a bio feedstock in terms of castor oil, in terms of cashew nuts. Cashew nuts is for epoxy, but at least we do have bio feedstock, and that is why it would be a viable for us to have this kind of the adoptions here. And then again, we've been supplying to OEM, but the OEM also do the co-development here. They do have design centers here. So these design centers are not for India, but it's for the global. And where we have, we when we put across this kind of the product for spec-in, they also keep asking for that co-development for this kind of the spec-in opportunity also. And the last point, it's a pretty wide point. Majority might be already started doing having a clear LCA data. It's not easy. Start today. It takes 6 months, 12 months for you to have LCA data for whatever you are offering to your customers, not for your customers at least, not for the marketing claim, but be aware of what you are been having when you are bringing everything and produce yourself. So LCA data, we've been creating LCA data for our product, and it's taking time. It's taking time because if I've been using 12, 15 raw materials, I go back and ask my raw material manufacturer. They do not have all the LCA data for themselves. But when we are putting regular queries to them, they also aware that industry wants this data also. So now the people are understanding that what been put across when we says that LCA data. So please prepare yourself for the LCA data for your product, not for the marketing claim, but for your own awareness also. Uh, my recommendations for coming 24 months, what supposed to we do here to start, because it will accelerate little bit in coming after 3 4 years. First for R&D, food for thoughts, it's a validate at least whatever they come across as a claim that it's a biopolyol. Blend it with your current system. See, create a data point. It might be not for commercial, but create a data point. Sometimes you will see that your competitors are coming with the claiming that they have this wonderful system, considering the 30 40 50% of bioblend. That time you will realize that you never started. So please start with that, validating the entire oil little biopolyols blends also. Conduct the long term testing. Please conduct it. You require a long time, at least 6 to 12 months, to have those kind of the data for your might be best selling product. This is something much required when you wanted to incorporate biopolyols. It will help you out a lot when you start marketing yourself for the this kind of the systems. Procurement, I will ask your procurement department, not for the our giant who been knowing each and every part of it, but at least for the Indian companies, they need to keep asking their procurement to evaluate the mass balance certificate of your suppliers. Keep asking this to your suppliers, get those details so that you can have your mass balance certificate
ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್
for
ಮಾಡಿ
your product also.
ಯಾವುದು
And the final, it's a
ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕೇನ
sustainability team. Finally,
ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್
it would be
ವಿತ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್
finally it would be sustainability team. If you carry sustainability team in your company, then let them come up with the model what they want to carry. Develop the PU Pacific carbon baseline. They need to they need to educate entire company there that what's the standards and how the industry is moving forward. And the last part is never claim that it's a biodegradable. So avoid over claiming to the any of your customers or in the market that it's a biodegradability. It's a bio base actually. Some facts I just put across that it's for the fun fact that it's always bio-based and it's not biodegradable, and it's not never been 100% bio-pure today. Consider because it's isocyanate where you do not have a scope of 100% bio-isocyanate currently. And then the circular PU, we carry that sometimes it's compromised performance, not in mass balance system. So please go across this again for the mass balance. Just in the last 1 minute, what the takeaway I can give you, it's technically viable today. Please go for it. Circular PU, recycling, and mass balance would be much better to scale up and then go to the market strategy for you. Case applications sometimes demands a performance based sustainability. So we carry a little bit more weightage in terms of the premium, what we ask from the customers. And then the India will always follow the cost and export driven logic for the sustainability in the near term. So this is what I've been concluding myself here. Thank you all. Just again, little bit hindsight that green chemical market is always growing. If your base is growing in terms of that they are putting across the capex and opex, then you must have this coming for the all the industry. So this is what I wanted to complete here myself. So let me, I've been over, not over the time, but at least I can say that we've been past one minute. So I just go across the some of the questions here. Do we have roadmap where new formulations are based on 100%? So I just mentioned that Atul, that it's very difficult to adopt 100% bio-based. Uh, Castor oil, when you do the castor oil, you can claim it till the point your bio content is 40 to 50% of your formulations if you carry the 60 to 70% of castor oil. So this is the claim you can do it, but this claim is also need to come across the some certifications. So this is something what I would advise not to go again say that it's 100% bio-based polyols. Uh, Ankush, you've been asking, you have mentioned the OH value to 220 to 250 for castor oil. So these are the assumptions we are taking. Castor oil has always been over the higher OH values, but in terms of the lower, the specialty grade of it, so that is why I just mentioned the lower the OH till the 20, and this has been very specialty grades, which has been for the case. Product what we can see here. I don't see any further questions, but I just see one of the uh, hand raise. You can ask Gracie.
Thank you so much for the presentation. There's one thing that I'm very curious about is about the adoption of these eco-based or bio-based raw material into the segments. Initially, it was believed that generally it is believed that rigid foam, flexible foam would be the forerunners into their adoptions. But however, whatever the recent trends that I'm seeing is that the case applications, the case products are the forerunners into their adoption. Is there any specific reason for that? Formulation wise or cost sensitivity wise, anything like what could be the reason for this?
I think if you form industry, it's a difficult part that they've been carry a lots of MDI and TDI in majority of our ecosystem for foam markets, completely based on the MDI and then again blended MDI and then again pre-polymer and then again some of the very specialty forms consider the uh, some of aliphatic even though it's not in the very much in the market. So this particular market we cannot do anything here. We have a global plants. There are huge plants which have been over capacity. Some of the part of it they push for the this already established market for this fossil base. Coming to the bio for the case, it's a widely adapt in terms of that because you can play very much in formulation terms. If I want to do the potting, there is potting considered for the electronics, non-electronics. I can put across the many polyols. I can balance the property. I do have at least 10 raw materials. In 10 raw materials, I can hide the color. I can hide the orders also. So whatever the limitations we carry for the bio-based polyols, I can adjust in terms of the other additives or other polyols also. So that scope is there with me for the case application. I don't see much scope in terms of the foam because foam itself is having a kind of tendency. If you change anything, it would have a, repercussions in terms of the stability, and this stability is in terms of the user stability. So that is not been studied yet. But I would welcome that whatever we have a esteemed guest here who've been producing lots of foam, they starts with something, and then we can see the user case also there.
Thank you so much. It was an excellent presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We have been over time 5 minutes, and I think I've valued your presence here and looking forward for meet you in some of the associations.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.